had dinner out at Susie and Greg's house back a couple of months ago when I was down in Texas. They live right near my parents. So I've known Susie since a couple of weeks after it happened in Luby's Cafeteria. Her mother and dad were killed along with a total of 21 people because her gun was out in the car. She's got a little 38 Chief Special. And Susie's dad was 71 years old. He was the only one that tried to get up there and stop what Jojo Hennard was doing. 71. And Susie told me, said he kept saying, I've got to do something, I've got to do something. And she had her hand on his arm, trying to keep him down. Hennard drove his pickup through about where that buggy is over there, from where she was sitting, not quite that far. I've been in Luby's Cafeteria with Susie. He drove through and he ran over two people I happen to know. One of them was my brother's boss and good friend and was going to work with my brother, and my brother was supposed to have been there with him, but he had a client who was late. And that's why my brother wasn't there. This guy ran over Colonel Steve, the only Army guy hit, the rest of them civilians. But there was a Texas Highway Patrolman in there, armed, and he didn't do anything because, and he told his bosses, I didn't come under fire. Now that is the deepest, darkest secret that it's been published in the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, and it was one little item in the Kileen newspaper, and that's been it. That guy was Texas Department of Public Safety sergeant, and he was transferred into another district because they didn't want to leave him there. There was a guy who was a truant officer for the school. Named Sam something, I can't think of it. I talked to him for quite a while. Sam was in there with his wife. And of course, you know that what happened is that Susie couldn't keep her dad from trying to run him, because when he came across right out here in front, he looked over to the right and shot somebody over there. And he wasn't spraying like Sarah Brady talks about. He was walking up to people and bang, bang, very methodically. Knew what he was doing. Her dad rushed out there, and I guess I heard him or saw him. He turned around, shot her dad, fell right there. And he fell so that she could see where he was hit. She knew he was gone. About this time, a guy they called Tiny, because he weighed about 300 pounds, threw himself through a plate glass window, back to back. And Susie said, "Come on, Mom, got to get out of here," and she thought he was coming. Susie still had cut up wrists and knees when I first met her, when she went through that thing, and then she realized her mother had not come. Now Sam, the truant officer, told his wife to get out of here, and he thought she was with him, and he ran back there in this rush of people trying to get through this one broken out plate glass. And he said he thought it was his wife. He grabbed her by the rump, threw her out. Later he found out it wasn't his wife that he saved. His wife was killed in there. Now, when he got out, he hit the ground out there, and just in time to see a Kileen police car coming up. The guy jumped out of the car, quit whipped his gun out, propped it up on the top of it, pointing down there at the windows where everybody was coming out. Sam ran up there to this officer, and he became pretty well known. NRA publicized him, but I'm telling you something, what really happened there. He came up and he said, "You got to go in there and stop that guy. He's killing people." He said, "My orders are to set up a perimeter." He said, "Well, give me your gun." He had a shotgun in the car. They knew that. And the cop, I saw him not very long ago, some function. The cop told him, "Get out of here, I'll arrest you for interfering with a police officer in the performance of his duty." There were cops next door in my brother's office. They had a conference going. And these guys, when they found out what was happening, they came in and they fired the first shots. Everybody else was on the floor. Susie was here, as she has said, when they tried to bait her. They said, "Well, how would you know you could have done any good with if you had a gun?" And she says, "Well, it would have evened the odds, wouldn't it?" And when her dad ran out there, it was only 5 or 6 feet. Everybody was on the floor, but her dad ran at him because this guy was the only one standing. Susie was there. She said this table that they had flipped up as protection. You know, she could rest her hand there. She said, she told me, "I've hit a whole lot smaller targets at a whole lot greater distance." Now, that's what it's all about. Nobody is going to defend your family but you.